Hi guys, it's Tao from Shine Bright Design, and today I'm doing my yearly Halloween themed Jasmine Beckett Griffith tutorial. Last year I did a half melting face, half demon, and this year I'm still going with a demon look. I'm inspired by artwork by Desi Perkins. This year she did a Halloween piece, which is where I got my inspiration on. I'll put a link into the description box below so you can see where I get my inspiration from. So most of the time my inspiration comes from either my mind or makeup videos. When it comes to my colorings, I get really inspired at makeup videos, especially Halloween. That's why I really love doing creepy cool things like this. It really allows me to get out of my comfort zone and be a bit creative and step outside the box, guys. I don't normally do this type of creepy cool stuff because I know a lot of you guys like the illustrations as is, so I don't really like to change them and alter them too much because I know a lot of my viewers appreciate Jasmine's illustrations as they are, and so I don't really like to temper or tinker with them too much. So I leave the tinkering to Halloween or specially themed days. So this is inspired by a demonic look done by Desi Perkins for Halloween. Did a makeup piece by this, and basically it is a blue skin demon with the mouth melting off. Now I wanted bits of her clothes to be ripped as well and have horns on her head and a rotting apple. Now I did sketch this whole tinkering with pencil first, followed by a fine tip pen. So you can look at the final piece to give yourself direction on how to sketch it out, but I hope you guys attempt it because I think this creepy coolness is a really great way to challenge yourself creatively and get outside that box. So this was also the first time I was doing blue skin, and I used markers as a base, and because I used markers as a base I hadn't burnished or smoothed down that pencil surface, so I was able to go on top with light colors and pencils as well, and that's how you can see I have achieved that blended, shaped face. So you can see like the highlights of the cheekbones and the nose and the shadows around the jaw, and the reason that I was able to achieve that because we went in with the marker base. Now normally I don't go in with marker bases, but after Inktober I have been awakened with a new approach to inks. I like inks, and I think it's a really good way to incorporate markers in doing your bases. And what it does is, one, it saves you time. It also saves you pencil pigment. So that's going to save you a lot of sharpening away of that flat color that you would normally lay down. So that's why I really recommend markers. So after Inktober, I've actually considered saving up money to get a larger markers as well, because as you guys know, Copic markers aren't cheap, they're really expensive, so that is in my wish list next. What I really like about markers is that we can go on top with pencil without having to, add layers and layers because the surface hasn't been burnished. And as you can see, the black on top of that burgundy color on the hair, it just makes it pop so much because of that crazy contrast of the hair. Now the hair choice was very difficult for me because I thought blue hair, blue skin, red hair, they're really opposing colors. But in my mind, I was thinking like red hair, like X-Men red hair. What's her name? Mystique, the blue skin X-Men character. She has blue skin and like bright orange red hair. I was like, do I want red hair like that? But no, I started to go something a bit more subtle, like a red brown. And I think that really hit the mark for me. It was light enough to allow that contrast of the black with the pencil, but it wasn't bright enough to make it look like crazy firehead, you know. But I did want a richness in the piece. So here we have the apple. This apple is like my favorite part of this whole thing. The face is cool, but this apple is just like mind-blowing for me because I'm so proud of how rotten it looks, you know. When you look at it, you think, oh, that's a rotten apple. That's a damn good rotten apple, guys. Especially how we use the Posca pen to do that. It just looks so nice. It looks like mold. It is really good, and I'm heaps proud of it. Jacket, but I wanted some color in it, so I was thinking, do I want a colored jacket with dark shadows, or do I want a black jacket with a purple reflect? And I don't know what I created, but I thought I would do a flat base with purple marker, and then I went on top with black pencil. Now this jacket, my goal was to do a very dark jacket. Not black, but not purple. So I kind of got in between. And as you can see, the texture that I created was very rough. It wasn't blended smooth. Like, it wasn't smooth like the skin. It was very rough. And the point of this was I was trying to create a fabric texture. And that's why you see me doing really... The pencil's basically blunt, and you can tell by the type of strokes that have been laid down on the paper. That type of texture is caused by a pencil that needs to be sharpened. Now, if you want something smooth, I recommend sharpening your pencil to a fine tip and then get it, like, fill in those grains. So I went in with black, some dark purples and everything, and then I liked the texture so much that I wanted to keep it. So all I did was I got a solvent. So the solvent I'm using is from Art Spectrum, and I glazed it, and it smoothed things out a little, but it still kept that texture. Now here I did the horns. I went in with a black marker, and then I went in with black pencils and a couple of greys, highlighting with the Posca pen. Now, when I used a black marker as a base for these horns, and I was still able to go on top with pencil. So again, guys, I think pencils are really great to create bases and really fill spaces really quickly with color. And it is less strainful and very cost effective, in a sense that it's cost effective because pencils are expensive as well. I know markers are, but at least with markers you can refill them, but pencils you have to buy a whole pencil. And then I did the background. Now, the background was really hard, but you guys know how I work. I go with the flow. And I felt like I needed a color that made the character pop. So I went in with browns and yellow ochres and greens. And you know what? I'm actually really happy with the choice. Because what it did was, it gave massive contrast between the character and the background, and it made the character really pop and stand out. But at the same time, that background didn't become lost. So all of the times when I'm doing backgrounds, I do like grayscale, or I do a very neutral tone background, and that way the character sort of kind of complements the background in a way. But today I didn't want it to complement the background. I wanted it to really stand out and cause a sense of juxtaposition or contrast between the character and the background. So this background is mainly done with inks, and it was mainly because I was working on this for 4 or 5 hours, and I just really wanted to get done, because to me, when I work, I really focus a lot of my time on the characters, and then the background comes second. But I really want to finish off this piece really quickly, so I used markers with a bit of pencil, and it did speed it up, and it still turned out great. I did a bit of moss as well. This was a bit experimental, and I use markers. I use Copic markers, Faber-Castell markers, Posca pens, and layered between those two colors. Look, it doesn't look extremely like moss, but it does have that characteristic. And then I use the green to kind of blend it out and blend that green out again with a sepia color. Now I really like this. It is a wonderful Halloween piece. I don't know if it's my favorite compared to last year's. If you haven't done or seen my last year's tutorial, it'll be in the description box below, or I'll have a suggested link somewhere in the right hand corner. I also went in with Posca pen, like you can see now, to highlight, and then I went with a marker glaze on top of that white just to knock it back. Now the highlight bit is very optional, you don't have to do it, but to me, I'm just a very extra person. I just want it to pop out. Other than that, I'm really happy with this piece. I think it's beautiful, it's really different, it's creepy cool, and that apple, wow, oh, it's such a small aspect of this piece, but I'm really proud of it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this commentary time lapse. I hope you will attempt my tutorial. The details will be in the link below. And I hope I can see you guys next time. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Press that bell and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.